Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spiritism at Noon, where we are currently studying the book Full Life, written by the Spirit Joanna de Angelis through the mediumship of Divaldo Franco. We study chapter by chapter, and each chapter brings a different topic. And the one that we have today to start the year is anger.
Oh, God.
So let's talk about it. Okay, let's as always read first, and then we'll be commenting. Anger. Do not let anger overpower your serenity at any cost. Anger is the spurious child of pride, which gets hurt whenever circumstances are not to its liking in any given situation. Here I was thinking, about the child, right? When a child is not immediately satisfied in its whims, they throw those fits of anger, right? And this is the behavior that we, spiritually speaking, as still kind of children, we sometimes are going to present. So she continues saying, since the mythological fratricide committed by Cain against Abel, caused by Cain's wrath to God, was unfair to him by favoring his brother's sacrifice, anger continues to burn indefinitely in our society. Devious and concealed, it can be found in the core of the human being, waiting for a spark to start a fire of unforeseen consequences. We can see it in many behavioral situations, opening the door to the moral disasters ravaging humankind. It is as unexpected, unforeseeable, seeable, and cruel emotional reaction. Lexicographers affirm that it is a natural reaction to an injustice. It depends, however, on what we consider an injustice given the interests at stake. So let's stop here. So uh, it starts, one of the Angelis, it starts by referring to the what she calls mythological, because in fact it's something that we do not know quite, cannot say quite for certain, quite sure that this is what happens, all right, or when there was this situation where a brother killed one brother just because of jealousy, that of course became just jealousy, became an act of rage, of anger. And so she says that we all have that. It's still, it is part on the core of human being. When we consider that we are still, we're living in a world of transition from a world of trials and atonements, and just going to regeneration, and knowing that the characteristics of a world of trials and atonement is related to exactly, um, the impulses, the passions, the lack of virtues that we have, we will see that this is still part of, a human being that belongs to this category of world. Of course, we are going to find in different creatures, different beings, different stages of that. Um, for whatever reason, for their spiritual age, that desire to overcome impulses, understanding that this is a negative trait, human trait, because they are religious, because that's the way they were raised, brought up, and there are different circumstances. But at the end of the day, what she's trying to say here is that if the circumstance presents itself to us, we cannot say that we are not going to be enraged. For instance, you're walking down the streets and someone comes and attentively and bumps on you.
Mhm.
What's your first reaction? Or it's okay, poor person. It was not paying attention. Perhaps they did, it has been a bad day. I don't think so, right? If you already do that, kudos for you. But most probably, we will at least have this reaction of, come on, right? So in simple things, um, we may see our true colors. Like you rush into the elevator, and then the door just closes uh, on your face, and you think, oh, the person that was there knew, could hear me running, or when I said something, hold the elevator, or this and that, and then we will immediately react with anger. Any
Mm.
other examples that you could bring?
I actually think, Jasada, that as we grow older, we become a little wiser. And when we have uh, all that we have been taught through Spiritism, that we have to put guards all around us, understanding that, you know, what happens to patience, what happens with understanding people's emotions when we go out there. Um, that's what I do. I mean, I go out. I always say my prayer when I go out. Dear God, protect and guide me as I go and come back. You know, you come with this. You prepare yourself for whatever may happen, or nothing might happen. I mean, but I mean, we have to go with with our minds filled with patience and understanding and all this. Yes, we understand, just like you're saying, you know, somebody comes and pushes you along the way, they don't hold the elevator. Okay, you say, okay, okay, it's not the end of the world. Okay, I'll wait for the next one. So it all depends who we are and how we live in our lives and how how much have we grown to understand. Uh, it depends on the individual, I believe. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah. No, definitely. Like I said, I think, one of the processes that we are, definitely trying to go through, one of the things that we really want to improve is exactly how we are reacting to things. And and paying attention to our behavior. And like you said, with time, wisdom should come, right? Not necessarily, but should come. And you start being more selective in how you are going to use your energy. And anger requires energy, requires your involvement, requires, the thought process, words that you're going to be saying, And we start thinking, is it really worth for me to engage in situations like that? Or, like I said, simple things. Someone bumped into the street, and I mean, there is this reaction. But if we were thinking with reason about that, what was the interest of the person bumping into us, right? We cannot think that they did that on purpose, right? They were distracted. They were really having something on their mind, or being in a situation that really prevented them from seeing you. And then we have this kind of reaction without realizing that, really someone didn't see you, and it just
Mm.
came into you, right? And so I think what you said is very important because this is something that we should learn, not necessarily through the bad experiences, but really paying attention regardless of what age we are, and paying more attention to that. Really, is it really worth to do that, or to lose all your power, your energy? And so, uh, like she says here, and unfortunately, to sparkle that, sometimes we need very little to just completely change our behavior,
Right.
something that is going to trigger us. And here, when she talks about the people that are the lexicographers, that are specialists in words and vocabulary, they uh, they say here it's a natural reaction to an injustice, but okay, what do you consider injustice,
Mhm.
right? In your vocabulary. So, like, we were saying, uh, I feel injured because someone bumped into me. I mean, it's really, or so the interpretation will vary,
Mm.
because we are also very self-centered. We are also very much like children, that if our whims are not satisfied in the time that we think it has to be satisfied, we get into frustration, and the frustration may lead to this. Any comments or questions?
Yes, this is exactly what you mentioned. Expectation about the people close to us when they not behave like we expect them, or just start to pick us like,
Mhm.
oh, you are the person who believe everything you think it's the right way, with small thing like this. And we cannot see the trap in this behavior of the others, and it start to create something, some reaction in us.
Mhm.
Mm.
This is like we open this space to grow this kind of feeling, the anger. Then when we look, we we are the person different for the others,
Mhm.
and then make us believe, oh, then am I wrong, or or Rose, then only me think like this.
Mhm.
The truth, it's my thoughts about this behavior. It's a confused situation. Then usually the end of the year, when families together and then know each other better than specific history, behaviors, and then you start to say not good things about others,
Mhm.
and catch us in this first irritate situation. And then if we can open the way this can grow,
Mhm.
then it's important to see this is just a trap to catch us in the wrong way.
Mhm.
And you see, Sonia, since you mentioned the festivities, I was thinking about an example that it's something that she's going to mention here, our um, uh, some of our behaviors here, insecurity, for instance, right? This um, it is we are during these festivities. We people sometimes are used to give each other Christmas presents, right? And let's say you gave someone, a nice Christmas present, but the person doesn't react as you expected. And I mean, we are
What's
talking
happened
here
with me?
about you were talking here about a festivity. We are talking about Christmas. We are talking about a good thing, the exchange of gifts. But we get frustrated and sometimes angry because you expected the person to be more, grateful, have a better reaction. And I mean,
Or at least say thank you.
yes.
At least,
Yes, and you see, sometimes it can manifest in a good situation, right? In a good setting that is it my fault? And then there is this insecurity. The person is judging me. It is my fault that I didn't give the right word. No, it's the person's indifference, the person's lack of gratitude, the person's whatever, but we bring it to us like, is judging me, is judging my choice, is judging, etc. And then it may trigger one response that can be that of anger.
yeah.
It's funny because, you know, when kids like play like invisible and then close their eyes and suppose because they can see the others can see them, then
Huh?
in this end of the year I close my eyes many times, many times. And every time when I feel like it's this is not good for me, then I close my eyes and call them, please God, protect me, please God. But interesting because I always close my eyes like I don't want to see this.
Yeah.
If when I close my eyes, I build like some protection around me because I can see, I can feel, I can be involved with this kind of bad situation there.
And this is an excellent uh, way of doing it because if we still cannot control ourselves and if it's going to affect us to the point of leading us to behavior that you are going to be very sad with yourself, the best things to do is to remove yourself from the scene. And removing yourself from the scene, this is a very good way of doing it, Sonia. I'm going to remember that. Just
Yeah.
close your eyes and
Yeah, my eyes and then
right. I like that.
everybody disappear.
Yeah, I like that. I like that very much. And this is progress.
Right.
This is progress. This is us already saying, like you were saying, Sarai,
Mhm.
it doesn't worth my any kind of reaction or wasting my energy. You know, oh, and okay, if we are still not invulnerable to the
Yeah.
emotions that we may feel, we have to resort to something in order not to get into a confrontation or a behavior that is we are going to feel much worse. Of course, it's not nice you thinking and saying, "Oh my God, all the time I have to keep my eyes closed." But it would be worse if we were looking and judging and getting into the confrontation. So it's a way of protecting yourself and protecting yourself not to get to a place where you cannot get, you don't want to get.
Exactly.
And okay, so let's read a little bit more here.
Mhm.
Many incidents accumulate inside a person until something insignificant suddenly triggers an always unfortunate explosion. Not controlled at the early stages of a heated exchange, it grows into an altercation and quickly explodes with an uncontrollable force responsible for behaviors that are incompatible with human dignity.
Mm.
Do not justify it when you are the victim of its nefarious effects. Nothing can justify the presence of the venomous and implacable serpent. Use moral discipline to contain it and dilute it afterwards. Countless evils are the product of this hydra of learner, which always regenerates itself and ultimately poisons its host. Okay, so here it's very interesting because she's trying to prevent us about minor occurrences that may happen to us, but if not dealt immediately or properly, it may become a monster. So it's like, we say the dust under the rug. Like
Mhm.
you try to hide it from yourself, but the thing is, it is there, and it will come to a point where we are going to have this uh, reaction, right? That it seems extreme for a little thing that is happening, but it's no longer a little thing. It's a bunch of little things that you did not address properly with yourself. That's why she mentions here the Hydra of Lerna, which is a mythological figure that was killed by one of the heroes, the Hercules. And it seems that she had like a many heads, and when she cut one head, two others would appear in its place. So it's what we do sometimes. This is what we do. She says, you try to cut one head, making believe to yourself, pretending to yourself, no, that's okay. But it's not okay. You could not digest that. And it's just coming and coming and coming and coming. And one day it's going to explode. So that's what she's saying, and she said there is no justification for that. You have to deal with things. The best thing is to deal with things right away. Maybe it means just a private conversation. Let's say someone did something to you that we were not pleased, and but there is no uh, possibility of you having a conversation with this person and make this person understanding, and it may become something even worse. So you have to have a conversation with yourself,
Mhm.
saying, okay, this was bad. It made me feel bad. Unfortunately, there is no way that I can address that. You say that out of experience, because sometimes, how can you reason with someone that has no reason, or just see one side of the coin, doesn't see the other side, doesn't think about the whole picture. So sometimes you just have to deal that with yourself individually, but you cannot just pretend that that occurrence didn't bother you.
Yeah.
Okay, because otherwise um, we are a volcano ready to
Load.
explode at any moment. And then, of course, people are going to be surprised. Wow, how come you just crying or screaming because you ordered a chocolate ice cream and the person brought you chocolate chip ice cream.
Mhm.
I mean, it's nothing, right? But
Mhm.
it's not nothing. It's an accumulation of a lot of emotions that you will have and you didn't deal with that properly, right?
Yeah.
I usually talk with myself.
Yeah.
And then talk, 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 talk. Then I talk when I have a problem with someone or when I happy. I talk to myself too.
And,
Doesn't matter.
That works.
and sometimes, I don't know, maybe it's easier for women because women are more open to each other, or you have, friends that you can trust. And at least we can, talk to one another and vent a little bit and exchange opinions. Sometimes it's not that you have to go through that alone, but you have to address that.
Because during the process, it's like my mind come to organize in better way the situation.
Mhm,
It's easy for me to start to see exactly what happened.
mhm,
Because when someone do something to hurt you, you over see the situation in the wrong way. Then when we start like talk with myself, it's like a process of digest and they start to see exactly the situation.
mhm.
And then I look, oh, that's okay then.
And you see, the situations is always more complex than they seem. For
Mhm.
instance, for us who believe, of course, in reincarnation, we know that we are not in relationship with a circle of people out of nothing. It may not be because I lived with this person in previous existence, etc. And now I have to make amends. I have to go to my karma. Not necessarily, but even let's say there is a person that is difficult to you, and the easiest and simple conclusion would say, I was bad to this person and now this person is mad at me, is always, teasing me or hurting me. Not necessarily, okay? Maybe this person is someone, a spirit that is unknown to you, but it brings characteristics that will help you
Mhm.
develop virtues that you still do not have. Like, for instance, patience,
Mhm.
tolerance is like us living with a child and trying to blame the child for a childish behavior. Okay, so this child is there just to make my life a horror movie because I was bad to this child in another life. No, not necessarily. It may be, but it's not just one plus one. I'm just emphasizing that because we have this the tendency, and even people that do not necessarily believe that much in reincarnation say, oh my god, you are my bad karma, for certain I did something bad to you in a previous incarnation, or you are my angel for it can be the other way around. So when we consider that, um, we have a different perspective to look at things, and it becomes easier for us to find
Mhm.
uh, resources to
Mhm.
escape from engaging into a war situation. It's like, I wanted to speak in Greek with someone that doesn't speak Greek, let's say, right? Or I want this person to understand me.
Right.
This person cannot understand you, and you cannot understand them. You both speak different languages. And with somehow we want each other to be understanding each other, and and there is no way this is going to happen.
Mm.
Maybe if there is goodwill with time, I'm going to learn. Let's say Sonia speaks Latin, I speak Greek. I don't know why I'm using this dead language. Okay. Maybe to be neutral. Maybe with time, and if there is not animosity, there is starts to have some understanding that you are at one level, one interest, one experience, and I am at another. We are going to learn a few words from each other that will make our relationship be sustainable,
Yeah.
right? But sometimes it takes time.
Takes a
Takes time
long,
to learn the words, or and to be able to understand that there are different perspectives, different level of interests, and even involvement, right? Sometimes we think that a seventh grader could be, understand very well what is happening in eighth grade, but
mm,
not necessarily.
yeah.
Uh, there will be concepts that you still have to learn. I'm close to that. I'm no longer in fifth grade or fourth grade, but there are concepts that I still cannot understand. And and I think that the great wisdom comes in what you shared with us, Sonia. We just have to reframe ourselves uh, from engaging in situations that we already know are not going to be fruitful.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I remember once many years ago, I think my second time here in the US, I traveled with my sister and my brother-in-law and another couple that were friends with them, Brazilians. And we arrived at hotel, and those Brazilians, they were quite nice, but somehow they did something so stupid. They were talking to the um, there at the front desk, and they could not understand how the guy could not understand them. He's speaking Portuguese. And those stupid things like I'm speaking very slowly. How can you not understand me? You're not understanding me because you having prejudice, or you have bad will against me.
Yeah.
And I was there. I remember that I said, "Oh my God, how can someone do not understand that if you don't speak
The
a
language.
language?" And I mean, it looks like a joke, but it was not. And I
Yeah.
remember that I felt so embarrassed, and my sister and my brother-in-law as well, and they tried to to prevent the situation, but the guy couldn't really conform to the situation. No, it's he's pretending he's not understanding. Like, and sometimes there are people that is exactly in this vibe,
Mm.
right? And why are we talking about this? Because those are the kind of situations that will put us into in danger. if we engage. I mean, I want to make you think like I do, to be in the same level, to understand my emotions. And sometimes not even a very close person to you can is capable of doing that,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah,
let's.
I see that a lot in my daughter.
Uh-huh.
She she was a young teen. You know, she gave me a long way she made me go through a whole lot.
Hmm.
Um, and now it's amazing that, I've always tried to keep my cool, like they say, keep your cool, try to understand. And sometimes I would lose it. I'm a mother, of course. I'm not perfect. But I kept, you know, having faith with her and saying that you can do this, you can do that. And now I see her in her 50s, and I see such a change. She's a friend, and it's like a friend. We can talk, and if anything goes wrong, uh, she'll say her side of it, I say mine. And then we come to a conclusion of understanding each other. It's amazing how it has changed from those years to now. And it is all has to do with, uh, learning how to be patient, listen, understand, and in life, and all that we've learned to put it into practice. This is what it's all about. And you see the change throughout the years. I actually could see it. She's a very nice human being. She's my daughter, but I like her. Before, when she was younger, I would want to, oh, she doesn't listen, she doesn't understand. But time has come that she has finally grew up, and she's going through a whole lot, a whole lot. But I see the patience in her. She listens more, and she doesn't get angry like before. It's just a matter of time, and putting into practice all that we have been taught uh, as spiritists, you know. And and at the end of the day, it works out. Now, before we get to that point, how much are we going to go through? A lot of pain and suffering, yes, we are, and a lot of tears. But it comes to an end. You say, "Oh boy, okay, we're at a point now that we can talk to each other. If we get different ideas or different thoughts, we speak it out, and and we and it becomes uh, an understanding. We're not perfect, no way, no how, but I see the change, and it's a beautiful thing when you can see it and move forward. Even though we're not perfect, no way, no how. We have so much to learn, but anger and misunderstanding and interpreting things the wrong way, all that it's totally different now. And it's a good thing when we get to that point to understand each other. And we don't know what tomorrow will bring, but I know that I will use what has been given to me. And that's what we have to do, is have that faith that we're not alone in this situation. So
It's it's so interesting what you're saying, Sarita, because I was thinking while you were talking to us, um, about Joanna de Angelis' family constellation,
oh
where she says about she talks about that family, or immediate, or not just immediate, but the circle of that we call family,
mhm,
um, is the microcosm of fraternity, of understanding, and so that we can one day living in the macro, right?
yeah, yeah.
This situation. So what you're talking, you were sharing with us this um, uh, situation and experience with your daughter. I was thinking, if it were not your daughter or someone close to you that you could not avoid, probably you would have uh, break this relationship many decades ago, right?
Right.
Saying, there is no way I can have a relationship with someone like this one, like, with this characteristics.
Mhm.
You would just probably say, I can have better friends, or whatever. But since it is someone, I
The
mean, in this
family.
case, really someone you cannot avoid, or that is your daughter, you put the work on. You waited,
Yeah.
you had patience. You said your pieces as well when you had to do it, but
Oh,
you try to maintain
mhm.
the fire there, in the sense that when the time comes, we can grow this, and this is what you're living now. You're saying this is what you're reaping from what you have been sown. And this is amazing because in a way, through those relationships that we cannot avoid and we are obliged somehow, I have to live with this person, I have to find a way of making it work. And not, of course, in many cases we see parents and that then don't talk to their children for decades, right? Thank God this is was not what happened to you, because you never let the rage, the anger, or you knew how to make it sustainable for the time being, for the time that was necessary, and of course kept on doing your part, your work. And it makes me very happy to hear that. And I think it should make us all very hopeful, but always understanding that it was not without blood, sweat, and tears,
No.
right? No pain, no gain. So there was a lot of work on your part, a lot of unsaid words on your part, I'm sure, and hidden emotions, because if if we just and this is what Joanna de Angelis is saying, and actually she's going to say that in a few paragraphs after. She's going to talk about, exactly, if we can control ourselves, we will see that with time something that could have been destroyed becomes a true friendship.
Exactly. Exactly. It is. It is. It's just. I see it, and it's so amazing to me. You know that when we talk, the last thing we say to each other is "I love you," and she say, "Oh, ma." It was. I'm hanging up. She says, "Ma, I love you." Says, "Okay, Emily, I love you too. I love you too." She would not say those things. She actually, if I hang up and I hang up the phone and I don't say I love you, I don't know. You're just Ma, sorry, Emily. I love you too. I love you. I love you. I love you. Okay, goodbye, bye, bye, bye. And trust me, she's in a whole lot of things that she has to, get out of and do a lot of work for herself. That's hers. I know that's hers. And anytime she needs any kind of advice, she'll call me and I'll tell her what I feel and blah, blah, and hope for the best for her. But she has a lot of work ahead of herself. So I I hope she will do the best that she can. But
Mhm.
it is through this relationship that it's been a long, long, long time. I mean, she's the only daughter. I have three sons. The sons were lovable next to her. They were loving sons and they had their problems and they still do. But her, oh my God. The brothers would sometimes want to strangle her. They wouldn't. Says, Ma, oh, Ma, you have a lot of patience. Oh, when they were teenagers living together, ay, 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 ay. She had a mouth that didn't stop. But now, I see a change. I see a change. And, we have to be patient. We have to work with it. It's not easy. And Joanna de Angelis is she is so loving. I have the one, The Happy Life. The other day I had my great granddaughter here, and I'll tell her here, Delilah, you read one, and she reads. And it's just so explainable that it's like she's coming out and talking to you. And I'll ask her questions and she'll explain it. And she's going through a whole lot now. But with this, I mean, their answers, before you would think you don't know what to do. You open a book, oh my God, the answers are there. The
Yeah.
answer's right there. It's amazing. It's just, they talking to me. What is this? This can't be. But Joanna de Angelis is oh God, what a beautiful spirit she is now, and we thank you God for her books and all the others that are there. I mean, there's so much that you can take out a book and open it up, and boom, the answers are there. The answers are there. Okay, thank you God, thank
Oh
you.
my God, that's so amazing, Zoraida. Uh, what a joy you may be feeling in your heart, knowing that now, that the work that you done all those years that you took care of the little fragile
Ah,
plants are paying over, and at the same time, like you say, she's going through things like we all, we know we have to, and sometimes we just mature and we just learn more about life when we go through things. But she knows that she has someone to support her and that loves her unconditionally, that you were there for her all the time. And now, you finally can be together in the same page. And I think this is what we are talking about here. I mean, even someone that has been so hard for us and that really, touches us in those Achilles heels, right? that very vulnerable places sometimes can become our friends. There is one phrase from Abraham Lincoln that I love it,
I love
and it's one of the phrases that I mean, I have a few, I mean, half a dozen, and this is one of them, where he says, "I don't like this person.
uh-huh. Uh,
I have to get to know him better."
ah, wow, yeah, that's what it is. Oh
And
my
another thing that he says in this relation as well is, the best way to destroy your enemy is to making him a friend.
God. Oh wow, yeah.
And I love the way he uses destroy, because when you start reading the phrase, or if it's not destroy, exactly the word is something very powerful like that. The best way to destroy your enemies
To make me a friend. Wow.
is to make them a friend. So those two things
Mm,
combined, right? Wow, what a noble soul! It's it's what we have to understand. We cannot force things, and we cannot prevent uh, people to have, to act in ways that are not going to hurt us. But we have to do our best. And
mm,
when not possible, we just sometimes we have to remove ourselves from the scene and wait for time to make them grow, because
right.
everyone is going to grow. We are growing, right? We are growing so much, and sometimes we may not see that, but we are growing so much, and there is always room for improvement in our level of involvement. And people and situations and fraternity and pain and all that is always here to teach us and to help us. And and I think once we understand that, we will really focus on what is more important. And this is what we are called here to pay attention to. You say this unjust. Why? Are you really sure that this is unjust?
Yeah.
Are you really seeing that truly, not with some kind of bias that or excuses that we have? There is a beautiful lesson in the Our Daily Bread that is called "But." That
Uh,
Emmanuel says, right, something that every phrase that we use, but
oh, wow.
like, I know I was late, but then it comes an excuse.
An
Oh,
excuse.
it's because of this, and so we try
Wow.
to to become to become blind to our own um,
Wow.
failures, and I mean, like Joanna de Angelis says here, they represent this hydra of learner. If we just cut them, pretending, oh no, this does not exist, two heads are going to grow in its place. It's not no longer one.
Mm, exactly.
Okay, so we have to face the problem as it is, the situations as it is, and do the best that we can, and knowing how to act and react. There is the Brazilian author, the Spirit, Humberto de Campos, uh,
Mm,
from the book Boa, Good News. He says that we have to pay more attention to our reactions than our actions. Because sometimes when you are going to act, you are in control. You plan things. I'm going to do this. But when you react, it's like someone sent you, a ball through a ball in your side of the court. How are you going to respond to that? Right? And sometimes it's so immediate, and it's like, oh my God, why did I react like this? Why did I say something? And immediately you regret what you said. So the peace water, like Chico Xavier would to tell us that his mom told him to do, put drink some water and do not swallow it. Keep it in your mouth
don't speak.
until until you know you calm down,
Yeah.
and yeah, and then you are going to say something that you're not going to regret, right? So we will continue with this lesson for next week as well. Of course, there is a lot to be explored, and I think it's good that we didn't rush through it. We had time to discuss it, and also to learn from each other. And I'm happy that we are in situations already that you can reap what you sow. And I learned new tricks. Just remove yourself, close your eyes,
Um,
shut your eyes and mouth, and remove yourself from the problems and the situation,
absolutely.
and focus on what it is important. And like you said, we have so much to thank to the Spirit
Ah,
Joanna de Angelis, because in
yeah.
her words, in her pages, and always with a name of,
Mm,
calling our attention to our emotions, even when they are not, it's not what we want to see. But if we do not address that, it will comes bite us in the faces, like
you know,
right.
oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
so I think we are in this process, and we have these resources
Oh,
And we have always the inspiration of the spirits that
ah,
guides us and leads our conversation in ways that are going to be very inspiring from for each one of us, right?
oh, thank God.
Thank God.
It's-
Okay, so let me stop recording.